At the University of Wisconsin System, we don't dance around our commitment to provide you a safe, healthy work environment. UW System employees hold many roles to deliver learning and administrative services and maintain our campuses. And all employees share an equal responsibility to ensure the safety of themselves, coworkers, students, and campus visitors. This orientation highlights safety and health topics you need to know. Your supervisor should provide additional health and safety training specific to your role. Here's what we'll cover in this health and safety orientation video. Recognizing and controlling hazards, general safety, which includes fire prevention, general housekeeping, and safety signage, ergonomics, which is about fitting your workplace to your needs, emergency preparedness, and reporting a work-related injury or illness. There are some hazards you need to be aware of to prevent an injury or illness. We want you to be able to recognize and evaluate specific hazards related to your job. Some hazards include chemical hazards, such as those used in research labs or cleaning supplies used by custodial staff. Other physical hazards, such as moving parts on machinery, fire hazards, and working from ladders. There are hazards associated with repetitive motion. Each job has different hazards. Your supervisor will let you know if certain actions, training, health surveillance, or equipment is needed to eliminate or control the hazards. UW campuses use engineering controls or administrative controls to protect workers. Engineering controls are modifications to equipment like installing fume hoods and equipment guards. Administrative controls are safe work practices and procedures such as written policies, safety training, and hazard signage or labels. Campuses also use personal protective equipment, or PPE, as an additional last line of defense to make the workplace safe. PPE places a barrier between you and the hazard and are used to support the effectiveness of other controls. PPE include items like gloves, protective eyewear, hearing protection, and respirators. At least every year, building occupants are required to participate in a fire drill. These drills make sure employees and students are familiar with exit routes and how far to move away from the building. Make sure you're familiar with the location of fire alarm pull stations and exit routes. Fire prevention is also important. This includes prohibiting open flames, getting approval to use additional electrical equipment, not using extension cords as permanent wiring, and not overloading extension cords. And if you work in a building with a fire sprinkler system, keep stored material at least 18 inches away from sprinkler heads. Keeping a workplace safe and orderly can prevent unnecessary hazards, and we encourage you to keep your workspace organized and free of obstructions. There are several warnings on equipment and chemicals around us, so it's essential to be familiar with their meanings. Each of these hazard warnings have signal words associated with specific colors or symbols. Here are some of the most common colors and signal words you may encounter in the workplace. Danger is red in color and used in every hazardous situations where there's an immediate threat of serious injury or death. Warning is orange in color and used to represent a hazard level between caution and danger. A warning means that if a hazard is not controlled, it can cause death or serious injury. Caution is yellow in color and used for low hazard situations where a non-immediate or potential hazard is present and poses a lesser threat of injury. Here are examples of symbols you may see. The biological and radiation warning symbols are used to identify a potential or actual presence of biological or radiation hazards in equipment, containers, or rooms. The flame represents chemicals that are flammable, self-reactive, or organic peroxides. The corrosive symbol identifies chemicals that can seriously damage the eyes and skin. Skull and crossbones identify chemicals that can immediately cause serious health problems. The health hazard symbol represents a cancer-causing substance that can damage organs and reproductive systems. The pinch hazard identifies equipment where an individual's body part may become caught, leading to injury. The slip symbol is used to identify poor floor conditions that can lead to a fall. If you have questions about the meaning of a sign, tag, or symbol, please ask your supervisor. Ergonomics is the design and arrangement of things we use or do in our job to reduce risk of injury and stress on our bones, muscles, ligaments, tendons, and nerves. Ergonomic hazards result from things like repetitive movement, manual equipment or material handling, poor workspace design, and poor body positioning. The three primary ergonomic risk factors are tasks that require force, are highly repetitive, or include awkward positions. You can take measures to minimize ergonomic hazards. To reduce risks in high-force tasks that require physical exertion, use lift equipment, ask for help when moving objects, and use good lifting techniques. To reduce risks in high repetitive tasks, take breaks and even do stretching and warm-up exercises before the activity. To reduce risk associated with poor positioning, use a proper office chair and height, properly locate your keyboard, monitor, phone, and work tools, and take breaks. Contact your campus safety department if you have an ergonomic question. A variety of emergency situations may occur on your campus, so it's important you know how to respond in the moment. Emergency situations range from a medical need, a fire in a building, an active threat or shooter, or severe weather. Your campus may notify you and students of these emergencies through a mass notification system that sends emergency notices via text and email. Check with your supervisor for instructions on how to enroll in your campus notification system. Each UW system campus may offer training on topics such as how to respond to an active threat or active shooter. These teach you how to be aware of your surroundings, how to report suspicious activities, and how to respond to threats or emergencies. The most important thing you can do is if you see something, say something by calling the university police. Even if you're not sure if your concern or suspicion is valid, call and let trained personnel decide. Campus buildings also have emergency notification systems. The systems will provide a visual and audible warning of a fire. During evacuation, you are required to evacuate the building. Some buildings have emergency evacuation route maps displayed in buildings. These maps may include exit routes, fire extinguisher locations, tornado shelter locations, handicap accessible exits, or areas of refuge. Take time to locate and review these maps. Even with our safety precautions, an accident, injury, or illness may happen. And if you're injured at work or have an illness you feel is related to a work event, and depending on the severity of the injury or illness, you should first seek first aid or medical treatment and then report the injury or illness to your supervisor. You are also required to submit workers' compensation forms. Submit these forms within 24 hours or as soon as possible to your supervisor and/or your campus workers' compensation coordinator. Since workers' compensation coverage must be approved, you are advised to stay within your personal health insurance network. Speak with your workers' compensation coordinator for details on claim reporting procedures. Your campus safety staff will follow up with you about the work incident or event. These follow-up safety evaluations are not intended to place blame on an injured or ill employee. Their purpose is to evaluate how and why the incident occurred to prevent a similar injury or illness in the future. Health and safety protection does not stop after you complete this orientation. You have the right and responsibility to communicate health and safety concerns. Don't hesitate to contact your supervisor or your campus safety department with concerns or questions. No job activity is so important and no request is so urgent that you cannot take time to perform it safely and in compliance with regulations and rules. Please familiarize yourself with all safety aspects, policies, and guidelines specific to your position. We want a safe, healthy place to work, learn, and live. Welcome to the University of Wisconsin system, and don't dance around a safe and healthy workplace.